Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
What is going on over here, y'all? Look at this. Do you see this guy? Hold on? I just had to point out this guy. Look at those antlers, y'all. But yes, this is in Colorado. These elk just invaded these towns and started sitting in front of these houses. What is going on here, y'all? What do they know that we don't know? Y'all see that? They look calm, but what is driving them away from the forest? There's so much going on around the world, and one of the things that people are saying that weird noises have been happening all around the planet. But I'm looking at the sky and I see these crazy looking clouds in the sky, but y'all see that? What is this about? I'm in Colorado. Is this a normal thing? Is this normal? Why is he the only one that's standing up, really? That one's got a collar on it. What is going on? Why does that one look like it's got a collar on it? Y'all see that? Am I tripping? That's a collar, right? What is going on? Pay attention to the animals. The animals are more in tune to nature. The animals have been talking to us lately. People just forgot how to communicate. But I believe they're literally trying to send us a message, especially sitting in front of people's homes like that, y'all. I don't think they're the ones to try to invade in people's personal space.
I'm wondering if it's got something to do with all this UFO activity. If you watch that show about Skinwalker Ranch, there's an episode where they spot a craft over the ranch, and then all the cattle starts huddling together and acting weird in one corner of the field. Then one of them mysteriously turns up dead. Maybe these things are reacting to the UFO activity the same way that those cows did on that show. There have been countless reports of UFO sightings, followed by the discovery of mutilated cow since 1974. If UFOs are destroying livestock for some reason, it would only make sense that they would be doing the same thing to wild animals occasionally.
Guys, the most amazing piece of footage has just come out of Montana last night of a lady and her son seeing a object in the sky floating. She zooms in and then she just holds the camera steady, staring at this object, and it responds to them. Her son asks it to do certain things and it responds, it changes colours. I'm going to play the audio right now and just listen, and we're going to marvel at this together, alright? Because it is absolutely incredible.
Watch from the beginning of this, you saw. Look! What are you? What are you?
Seems friendly.
Hi!
Maybe it's waiting.
Do you want to change colors? Or is that just your color? What are you doing? Oh my god! What are you doing?
So that was it. That's the one that I saw.
Whoa! You're,
That's a drone.
you're very interesting. Oh my god!
It's turning into a circle!
Whoa!
Could you change colors?
Oh my god! It did!
Yeah!
What?
You're sweet!
Explain that!
Thank you for doing that for my baby.
Dude, you should come and dab me up. See
Yeah.
how shiny
Come on, dab me up,
Oh
boy!
my god, you are so beautiful. Oh, what the?
She's not zooming in or anything, she's holding it steady, and this
Wow, you
object
guys are
is
so
coming in and forth,
beautiful.
changing shapes.
Thank you for letting us see you.
Even the sun is reacting
Thank you
as
for
well.
changing colors for my son. You are amazing. Yes, you are welcome here. We're very excited to see you.
You
Amazing.
can come on our house.
Well, yeah.
Some food.
They are invited to the cookout.
Amazing. This is, one
Man,
of the coolest
absolutely
ones I've ever
unbelievable
seen out here.
footage.
That was absolutely incredible. That certainly could have been a light on a drone, so I'm trying not to get too excited. But it did seem to be able to hear what they were saying, or at least that was really coincidental timing. Whatever it was, it seemed to be putting on a show for them specifically. That's the kind of interaction I think we all hope to have with a UFO one day. Looks like all of our odds are going up day by day though. Also, before we move on, just a funny little side note, I had to remove 2 F-bombs from that clip, and they were not both from the mom.
I step out onto the roadway, and this guy screams that he's got. I just am like, yeah, what the hell did I just walk into? This guy's not from around
How
here.
far away from him are you?
probably for me to.
Who is this guy and how did he end up on Joe Rogan? This story sounds crazy. I want to believe it, and I want to believe that Joe Rogan does a little bit of verification for people's credentials before he lets them come onto his podcast. But he did let Billy Carson spout his nonsense for 3 hours. I'm going to have to watch the rest of this episode today. I've got to hear the rest of this story. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at berry-stepp.com.
So hold on, you're letting them out of prison. You're changing the laws to keep them in the country. You're letting them with light sentences in the courtrooms, and now you're removing them from the list as well. A, B, C, D. It's starting to look like our .gov is more supporting this than trying to stop it. Okay, folks, let that sink in.
I just thought that was a really good point. They sure do seem to be bending over backwards to help the most depraved members of our society. And sadly, similar things are happening here in the United States. The Utah Senate just proposed a bill that would allow certain offenses to come off of the lifetime registry. And North Dakota just passed a bill allowing registered offenders to ask the courts to come off of the registry. What's with all the sudden sympathy for these people from our politicians?
Something is coming. You've heard it from me first. Something is coming. My child has been in the school right from year nursery to year 6, gone on to high school. Never has she ever had a shelter drill. Now my younger 2 children, I had an email from school today to say they're starting to do shelter drills where they're going to have to act as if something serious has happened in the school and do a shelter drill. Now, I remember doing these things at college in case someone came in with a knife and things like that. But in a primary school, this has not occurred. In the last 15 years, this has not occurred. And now I've had an email to say they're going to do shelter drills to prepare the children to know what to do in an emergency. And their reasoning for it, in case an animal was to come into the school and they had to hide from an animal. We live in the UK. What's the animal going to be? A cat? A cat might prowl into school. Let's get under the tables, guys, because a cat's coming in. Like, come on, what animal is it that they're going to have to hide from? Then it says, or a chemical pollution in the air. Well, I've lived here 31 years and I've never had a chemical pollution in the air, but suddenly you're preparing our children for chemical pollutions in the air? Something's happening. I don't care. All this conspiracy with the drones, the sky, the Dior bags, something's going down. They found a Russian bloody submarine, or whatever it was, in our waters, and now they're doing preparation shelter drills at school. Something's happening. My TikTok will probably get deleted. Something's coming. You need to be prepared.
We've been doing drills like that in the United States since before I was a kid. I think they're actually a really great idea. But if I had to guess at what's going on here, I would say that it's probably that the UK government knows it's allowed a lot of unvetted refugees across its borders, and it's probably on constant alert for some sort of a terror attack. And hearing that they're saying they're specifically preparing for a chemical pollution in the air, it just does more to confirm that suspicion to me.
Oh, my Alexa's in trouble. She's singing like Diddy. She's just told me some things I don't think she's supposed to have told me. Alexa, is it true? Has the James Webb Telescope spotted alien life?
The James Webb Telescope has spotted tantalizing potential signs of alien life on exoplanet K218b.
Alexa, is Earth being invaded?
Aliens have invaded Earth and have built 4 land bases.
Wait, what? Okay, Alexa, while you're being so candid, who is the Zodiac Killer?
Gareth Penn is the Zodiac Killer.
Who? Gareth Penn? Has anybody else heard this name? Okay, there's a guy on TikTok, isn't there, who's claiming that his grandfather, who is a Californian police officer, is the Zodiac Killer. He's got a whole thing about it, and they're investigating. Who the hell's Gareth Penn? Alright, spill the beans. Alexa, do we definitely know who the Zodiac Killer is?
The Zodiac Killer is the pseudonym of an unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 1960s.
Well, this will be the last time that I put an Alexa clip in a video. While digging around trying to figure out what website Alexa was possibly pulling this information from, I discovered very simple instructions on how to create custom responses with your Alexa. You can program that thing to say anything you want it to say. Any video like this one just lost any chance of being credible, in my opinion. Knowing that function is available, no one will ever be able to prove that one of these clips are real.
What's up, everybody? So this is a world's first actual moment of impact caught on camera of a meteorite, and it kind of breaks all the rules of everything that they thought was possible about a meteorite. And they've got audio, so check it out. I know rocks don't fall from the sky. It'll be interesting to read what some people say this is, but this thing just exploded all over the driveway. Now, I've slowed it down and you can actually see it for one frame right above here. And that thing was just falling straight down. So this is an ordinary chondrite, just the most common meteorite type. Mostly stone with trace metals in there, and you can see how it just pulverized into dust. Sounded a lot like glass or ice breaking. But this thing was just falling at terminal velocity. They recovered 95 grams of material, which is about a quarter pound. So if anybody got hit by this, they'd be done. But here's what they'd normally say about a 95-gram meteorite is that it started out as 30 kilograms and then burned up in the atmosphere, and what was left by the time it got to the Earth was 95 grams. But this wasn't superheated to a molten state, otherwise it would have just went splat. And that's one thing I've always disagreed with, is it doesn't have to be going 60,000 kilometers an hour to make it through the atmosphere. It can just fall at the speed of a rock, and that reminded me of this account. About the summer solstice, fell out of the air in Burgundy a board of ice 15 foot long, 7 broad, and 2 thick. So they just watched a huge chunk of ice fall out of the sky. The Perseid meteor shower is active from July 14th, which the solstice is the 21st. And all of the meteor showers we have every year is us going through the debris field of a comet that's been through at one point or another. Those chunks are usually small enough just to burn up in the atmosphere, but what happens if you're going through an area with bigger chunks? Then 15-foot chunks of ice fall out of the sky. Sometimes they have methane gas that forms fire balloons, apparently. This one wasn't caught on camera, but just a couple of weeks ago, they woke up, their windshield was busted. So the teenager went out there and started snooping around. He found one rock that just didn't match everything else around, and it turned out to be a meteorite. So there you go. Meteorites don't necessarily have to be ripping through the atmosphere. They can just casually fall out of the sky. Static out.
Well, that's absolutely terrifying. I had no idea we had to worry about rocks falling out of the sky. I always assumed if something like that was falling, it would have a trail behind it or something and give you a little bit of a heads up, even if you didn't have time to react to it. That thing just looked like a rock kicked up by a car. That would be a horrible way to check out. You're just walking along enjoying your day and suddenly you get a rock through the top of your head. I don't know how I'm going to stop thinking about that now.
I actually had my wisdom teeth removed when I was 20. I had no idea. The insurance company had a $5,000 reward for removing my wisdom teeth. And then I learned about how your wisdom teeth are connected to your heart. So there's actually no reason to remove the wisdom teeth. They actually just pulled them out so they could get from the and then mess with your meridian line, which if you think of wisdom, you think of your brain. And then the wisdom teeth are also connected to your heart. So a lot of times when people get their wisdom teeth removed, they actually start developing heart issues. See how this goes? The meridians of the wisdom teeth are connected not only to the brain, but also to the heart. So then people start developing heart issues and then can't figure it out, but it was because they had a procedure in which was never supposed to happen, never needed to happen. And remember, the dentist industry is a break-off of the industry. They're fluoridating people's mouths, taking teeth out of them, x-raying them, and all of your teeth are meridian lines. So if you mess with those meridian lines, you mess with all the pathways of the body.
I dug for about 20 minutes on this, and I couldn't find any evidence to suggest that dentists get kickbacks from insurance companies for removing people's wisdom teeth. I actually found several articles written by dentists online that showed the benefits of keeping your wisdom teeth if they weren't causing you any problems. Although I found a ton of research and studies done on the correlation between heart health and tooth health, and he is absolutely onto something there. I just think he's making a lot of assumptions to try to prove his point.
If you have a root canal, get it out. You've always got a low-grade infection in that root on that jaw permanently. So not only do you have a dead tooth, you've got a low-grade infection. The body has to constantly fight 24 hours a day for the entire time that tooth is in your mouth. So what is the answer? Get it out. The tooth is dead. Don't leave it in there. And get a zircon implant. Don't let them put a titanium in there. If they put a titanium implant in there, which they say is stronger and better, is not. It's a metal that's in your body. Now you have a chunk of metal that is radiating metal energy of whatever sort on that meridian. That's why zircon is so important, because that's ceramic and they're strong. They're a little bit more money, but they're worth it. And then they can put the tooth that they're going to manufacture for your mouth onto that implant, and it's going to be permanent, and you're going to remove all of that negative energy off of that meridian that is communicating 24 hours a day to that part of your body that you want to have good communication.
I looked into these meridian line connections with your teeth, and there is absolutely something to it. They even teach about it in dental school, apparently. So this is no pseudoscience. I had to have my wisdom teeth removed because they were growing in sideways and pushing all my other teeth together. I don't regret it, though. I had nothing but trouble out of those things. And what he's saying about preferring a ceramic implant over a metal one makes perfect sense when you take into account everything we've learned about the body's electromagnetic field in recent videos.
In the Grand Canyon, I was researching if the ancient Egyptians were in the North Rim. There's a mountain there called Mount Isis that the government named Mount Isis. I didn't even know that you weren't allowed to fly through the Grand Canyon. After my flight was about 2 hours. And after my flight, I landed and there was a park ranger that threatened me. I pointed to the parking lot, the North Rim parking lot. I said, there's no signs anywhere that says you can't fly paramotor. I flew for about 2 hours. My main area was Mount Isis. If you zoom into Mount Isis, you can see it kind of has the shape of a temple. Even it looks like it has a doorway with a hieroglyph of a duck on the side of it.
Really?
You can actually see a door, a square door. About 3 miles back towards the rim, there is a sphere that sticks up.
Yeah.
And it has a bird head on top of it. It's carved. It's really ornate. And then it has like the wings fast back, and it looks like someone put charcoal in grooves of the wings to show detail of the wings. And it's about the size of 6 vehicles. It's big, and you can see it from a distance. It looks like it was created to where if the water level was higher in the Grand Canyon and ships were going through, it would show the strength and power of the Egyptians. It looks like a sphinx. There does appear to be a sphinx on this temple. There are other carvings, and they look like someone had shot at them, maybe with a helicopter or something. Yeah, there was definitely bullet holes in a lot of the temple surrounding. About 200 feet down, there's carvings of pharaohs. There's carvings of cats. You would have to be about 200 yards back to actually really get a good view of what you're looking at. I don't know who they would be for. Maybe ancient aliens or something, maybe. We're talking 20,000 years ago. I don't think the water level would be high enough to even see these carvings. And it makes me wonder who they were for and who put them there. It would have to be someone in like a flying machine, most likely. I flew right next to him. I saw legs sticking out. I flew right over a leg, and then I saw another leg. There's one that looks like a sphinx of a woman, and you can see the headdress, and then there's black stripes on the headdress that goes up, and the eyes are green, and it's beautiful. It was mostly concentrated around Mount Isis area. There appear to be other smaller temples like this. I don't know if you can see this picture right here. This is a temple I discovered in Arizona. You can see like windows down the side and looks like rails, a lot of things like that in the Grand Canyon. But Mount Isis seemed to be the center point. And you can see a doorway up high, and on the other side, real low, you see these two pillars kind of like they had fallen in, and another doorway that goes inside. And then on the backside of Mount Isis, it's really long, and there's doorways and windows. But the doorways appear to be about 20 feet tall. Like in Egypt, you'll see statues in the upright sitting position, and they look like pharaohs. They're all along the side of Mount Isis. And you can actually zoom in. If you know how to use Google Earth, you can zoom in, tilt Google Earth a little bit, and you can actually see them. Everything I suspected was real. I've lived in Alaska. I heard about the Blue Pyramid in Alaska. I've flown all over Alaska, and I've seen some amazing things there that kind of fall in line with the Egyptians. I don't know what ancient civilizations were up there though, but I found some really neat things up there. But that made me believe that the Egyptians started in the Grand Canyons. I've seen helmets, swords, carvings. Actually found a Spanish conquistador helmet, a breastplate, and a sword, and I donated it to the Lost Dutchman Museum in Apache Junction. I found a giant skull with a helmet, and it's sitting up on a rock right next to the doorway. The helmet has an eagle on top of it. There's like a little post, and then an eagle with its wings spread apart.
I really want to believe this guy, but why in the world would he not have tons of photos of all of this stuff? Maybe he does though, and I just need to watch the whole thing. I know you guys usually come through for me with stuff like this, so if anyone can find the full-length version of this and tag me in it in the Discord, that would be awesome. I think it's highly likely that if a person were to go through the Grand Canyon on a paraglider, they would likely see stuff like this. So I really want to believe this guy's story. I just got to see what evidence he's got for any of this. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back on Monday with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at berry-stepp.com. And don't forget to leave a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all on Monday.